Oh, there we go. Now it's wanting to play.
Sweet.
All right. We'll just let people trickle in here for a couple of minutes, and then we'll get started.
All right, cool. I'm making a post about it right now.
I'm gonna get this going here on Twitter. All right. Let me get this. Mute my screen here. I'm pretty excited for tonight. I think we're gonna get a very good, solid turnout. Yeah, I'm really excited.
That'd be cool.
And then we'll take a couple of questions from some of the people in the chat if we have time or whatever.
Okay. Oh, hey, there's people in there.
All right, let me get this going here. All right. Yeah, hopefully the bugs did get worked out, that's for sure.
Every time I stream, I always have glitches and bugs. And
Is that
stuff,
right?
So
Dang.
that's always how it goes.
Yeah. Well, cool. So, how are you doing?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm good. I'm just relaxing. Decided for Halloween, I'm going to be going to Portland to go to like this convention. That's going to be fun.
Oh, nice. Cool, cool. What kind of convention is it?
It's like a oddities expo thing. It's like what, I don't know. It's kind of like if you were to do like a modern day traveling carnival, not really carnival, but just like, you know, the like, I don't know, pickled spiders and all that stuff, that kind of aspect of like
Okay.
not freak shows, but like traveling circuses and stuff like that. It's
Right.
kind of like that, but in a convention form.
Okay, cool. Yeah, it's like a freaky carnival kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's not really a carnival. It's more so just about like the freaky side of it.
Oh, okay. Nice. To be honest, so my wife, she's a big she likes like fairs or whatever. So she like grew up doing that kind of stuff. So I'm not too familiar with like carnivals and fairs, but that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's see. Cool. Let's see. Hopefully we don't have any glitches tonight. Are you still there? No, I lost them. Dang it. Yeah, the past couple of nights we've been doing the stream, we've been having a little bit of an issue with the connection with Discord, so we might have him drop every now and then. So let's see. All right, so let's see. So are you did we get you back? Sorry about that.
I haunt your blood. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Well, cool, awesome. Well, it sounds like you have a fun October planned for that kind of thing. Well,
Yeah,
I got
that, working on videos and stuff. Gonna be doing this one called The Whistlers. That's gonna be fun.
Oh, nice.
Gonna try to get like a few videos out around Halloween leading up to it.
Yeah, that was what fun plans do you have in terms of your channel? Do you have for us?
I was thinking about live streaming and reading stories, or just live streaming and playing games or something.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It'll probably,
Oh, I said that would be awesome.
yeah. Otherwise, it'll probably be just like more stories, trying to post a few more things for people to listen to and stuff.
Okay. So I've been following you for quite some time. When was your last live stream with your channel?
Where like I was doing it, probably like a year and a half ago. I haven't really done them much lately, but I want to get back into them. I used to try to do like the live readings myself, but I stutter a lot when I talk, so I always figured that it would be not as fun to listen to because I'd be like mumbling and stumbling over the words. A lot of my pretty much all of my audio is just like hundreds upon hundreds of like second-long clips of my voice that I'll edit together into one giant piece of audio.
Okay.
Because of how much I stutter and stuff when I read.
Okay, I think you and I are not too different. So I don't necessarily stutter, but I struggle with just like different other things. But that's interesting. That's cool.
Yeah, everyone's got their own process, and yeah.
Well, I don't know if this makes any difference, but as a viewer and a subscriber, it almost doesn't even seem like a thing that you have with your videos. It's all very smooth and very crisp. So,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That probably just comes from experience, like doing it, for so long. I'm sure that like if you were to jump back to one of my videos from like 5-6 years ago, with the knowledge in mind that every few seconds I would mess up, you'd probably be able to hear it, because I don't think I did a very good job of editing out the mistakes back then.
Yeah, isn't that crazy how from once you've started and like as you like progress, like your channel, it's very different. When I first started, I probably deleted about 60 videos just because the quality back then was so bad.
I did the same when I started. Well, not when I started, but after I'd been doing it for like a year, I had this moment where I was like, all my old videos suck, and I'm gonna do better on my new videos. So I want to get rid of all my old videos so people won't know how bad I sucked. And I deleted like worth of stories.
Okay, interesting. Do you still
and
have?
That was back when I was... No, I don't. Whoa, sorry. We're gonna ask if I still had them.
Yeah.
No, I don't have them because I'm really bad at organizing. In fact, I didn't even start saving my project files until like 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everything I would do would kind of just be in one sitting before. So like I just deleted like a year's worth of videos, and that was back when I was uploading like at least once a day, sometimes twice a day. I think I deleted like 150 videos from my channel.
Wow, that's intense.
I regret doing it. I shouldn't have, just because it would be nice to have to look back on now, but oh well.
Okay, interesting. It's like the Library of Alexandria, just lost knowledge.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right, well, I got a couple of questions for you. I've been thinking about these, and this is more coming from like a fan rather than like the creator side of me. So these are just questions I have as someone that views your content. So what inspired your very unique name, Dark Somnium?
Oops, snap, I just dropped something off my keyboard. 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Well, I like dreams, like just like what dreams are, and how they kind of like how like you can interpret your own dreams to mean certain things, or just how mysterious they can be when while you're dreaming. So I wanted to use the name Dream in my I wanted to use the word dream in my name, but I didn't really know how to incorporate it. I thought of something like Dark Dream, but then I was like, well, that sounds a little generic. And at the same time, I was like, I really like Latin words, so I chose just Dark Somnium. Somnium is just Latin for dream. So it is the Dark Dream, but it's just Latin for instead of English for that one word.
Nice. Oh, cool. Very cool. It definitely has a very, I agree with you. It has a very different, it hits differently, and it's very cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So I have to ask you, I'm kind of getting out of order with my questions here, but I can't help but notice you also have a very unique profile picture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the character for the channel is something that it's changed over the years. So like originally when I started, it was just the white like kind of like face area. That's kind of like a V almost, where it's like the eyes and stuff, that white part. Back when I first started, it was just that. And then over time, that's changed. Originally, what it was those little white things. I was gonna originally call my channel name Ronnie Reads, and so the logo was gonna be two R's that were back to back, like just like one reversed and stuff. And when I was messing with it in Photoshop, I went to resize it, and I accidentally stretched it so it was super tall, and it made the bottom parts of the R's kind of like connect together, and it made that shape of the eye a little bit. I went in and then like messed with it and kind of like reshaped it a bit to make it look like that. Once I thought that it looked cool, and then I just started going with that, and then eventually that kind of morphed into like being the eyes of this character, and then I came up with the idea for the Dark Somnium character itself, which is the character, that like reads the stories. I haven't like released any stories that have this information in it yet, but like the backstory behind the character is kind of like he's kind of like a creature that will feed off of people's subconscious fears by kind of like putting them in dreamlike states, and then whatever they're afraid of, it'll just kind of like feed these dreams to them that they're experiencing what they're afraid of, and those are the stories that I read. It's kind of like the person listening is the person that's being
like affected by it.
Affected by the character, if that makes sense.
Wow, that's pretty intense. That's awesome. You clearly put a lot of time into that.
I don't have any stories with that information out yet, but I'm gonna be working on that with some authors and stuff to actually have some stories about the characters in the future.
Okay, that's very cool. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's very interesting.
Yeah, no problem.
I've wanted to make like an intro with my character where he's like a normal plague doctor kind of guy, and he's like helping people, and they end up killing him, and then he like gets resurrected as like this like more of a demonic character, and that's kind of what he is now. But that's interesting. Yeah, that's kind of wow. That's interesting that you have that it's like the backstory of your character.
Yeah, pretty much. And I've had that since I came up with, or since the channel logo became a character rather than just that little V shape. Which I think was back in like 2009 when Mr. Extremes first helped me design the first character design for it.
Oh wow. Yeah, so I know Mr. Extreme.
Not 2009. Sorry, wow, 2019.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, Mr. Extremes, yeah, I know him from Let's Read. But yeah, I was like, I didn't know he went back that far. But yeah, cool. So so back with your channel, what are some things that inspired the channel itself?
Let's see. Well, when I first started, it was because so I write music for the stories.
Really?
Ever since I was a kid. What was it?
I said, really? Wow.
Oh yeah. All the music in my videos I make myself, and that's because ever since I was a kid I wanted to be a film composer, and so when I was going to school for music and stuff, I was wondering what I could do to try to get my music out there more, and what I could do to kind of like start setting myself on a path where maybe I could end up as like a film composer someday.
Nice.
And I thought that I like listening to stories online and stuff. And originally I reached out to a bunch of narration channels, and because I had noticed that at the time they all would use for the most part, the same song, like the creepypasta Miyoji song.
Yeah.
And nothing against him or that song, it's a great song, but I was thinking maybe if I offered to write some of them free music, I could get my music out there that way. And so I messaged a bunch of them, but nobody ended up replying except for like one person. And they were like, yeah, you could write a piano song for me. So I did that, and then I sent it to them, but then they never replied. So I was like, well, I guess I can just make my own channel and read stories, and then I can make the music for each story. And that's what I did. I figured at the time I was like, well, even still now, at the time I was like, I don't really have a great reading voice. So if anybody comes to watch the videos, hopefully they'll just like get past the voice and stay for the music. but some people ended up liking my voice, so I was like, yeah, that, and then I just kept going and stuff.
Nice. Well, I would have to disagree with you. I think a lot of people like your voice. Yeah, I think you have a very unique voice, but that's interesting. I didn't know that about the music. Do you have somewhere where you can go to check out some of the music you're working on?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel called Somnium Music where I post a lot of the songs from the stories.
Oh, nice.
And that's like the official, I guess, name of, like, I have the Dark Somnium for my narrations, and then Somnium Music for when I put the music out from the stories.
Oh, nice. Interesting. I had no idea. Cool. How long have you been doing that for the music part?
Ever since I started.
Okay.
Even my first video opens with the song that I made.
Interesting. Wow. What someone wanted to know in the chat, they wanted to know what kind of apps do you use to make your music?
So I use FL Studio to make my music, and then I have a MIDI piano, and over the years I've collected just a bunch of libraries of different sounds, like pianos, violins, guitars, and stuff that I can connect to my piano and then play using that. And then, I just put it all together in FL Studio.
Okay, interesting. With your music, is that copyright free, or how do we access that?
So I have a Google Drive link that I need to update and add new music to it, but where I have like my music sorted in different folders so that people can use it if they want. It's technically like copyrighted to me because I made it and it's my music, but
Right.
I don't, like, people can use it. Like, I'm not going to charge somebody like money. I'm not going to copyright their video if they use my music in the background and stuff.
Okay, cool. I'll have to definitely check it out and definitely hit you up and see which ones would work. But that's really interesting. That's not the first thing that comes to mind when I associate your channel and things like that. But that's really interesting. Something I also noticed when I was looking through the about section of your channel description, it also said that you're a graphic designer. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, actually, well, I need to actually change that because I put that there when I first started because I also do web design.
Oh wow!
And the graphic design comes from designing people's websites. And back when I first started, I tried my best to make all of the visuals that would be on my channel from scratch. But over time, I just realized that was too much work for me to try to do myself, and I'm just not good at art like that.
Oh, really?
So I actually need to remove that because I wouldn't say I'm a graphic designer actually anymore.
Okay, interesting.
So thank you for bringing that up.
No, yeah,
I'll change it right now.
for sure. No, you're good. No, I mean, I think it's fitting still. Let's see. All right, so here, let's get back. Sorry, I go off tandem every now and then on tandems. What is your favorite type of video to make for your channel?
I like to do the emotional ones, like kind of like sad or somber ones. Like somebody in here mentioned a story called "Licks from a Bear."
Yeah,
I really like that one. The ones that are kind of like really weird and sad, and you're like sometimes you're not really sure if there's anything actually happening or if it's all just in the character's head.
Right.
I really like those ones.
Okay. Well, like a psychological kind of horror kind of thing.
Yeah, or psychological. I guess. Yeah, that'd be the best category to put it in.
Okay, nice. I think you've already touched on this question, but someone had a really good question in the chat. They said, Nightmare's Edge asked, do you make music for other channels, like a commission base? And if so, is there a price guide somewhere?
So I have done music for other things, and I do commission music. Normally, I charge $99 for a song, but that's like, I'm flexible on that. Sometimes I'll do it for free. Sometimes I'll just do it for $20 or something. I like making music, and I'm not like, I don't know. I'm more so in it for the creativity of it. So if somebody wanted to work with me on music, I'd be more open to like I'd be more I'd want to do it based on just working with somebody with on music rather than trying to make money, if that makes sense.
Okay, nice, nice. So here, this is an interesting question, and I've gotten different responses from different people. What are some of your, what kind of videos do you watch personally on YouTube? Oh no. So every now and then the connection on Discord will go out. And I think it just went out again. Let's try it again. Let me see if I can get him back. Let's see, Ronnie, you there, buddy? Ronnie? Did we lose you? Ronnie, you there? Oh no, I think we lost him. Did we get you back?
Hello.
Hey, sorry about that.
Oh yeah, I don't know what was up. Yeah, but I can still hear you.
Oh, you can still hear me? Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. So, so you heard? Okay, so you heard the question. Sorry.
Oh no, yeah, no problem. Sorry, what was the question?
Oh, I was asking, what kind of videos do you personally watch on YouTube?
I like watching educational videos, and yeah, like science videos, stuff about space, physics.
Okay.
Mathematics. I like watching people make things, or like time lapse videos.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I like to. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, that was pretty much it. I was probably just about to start rambling.
Oh no, you're good. I every now and then I'll fall into like super obscure videos like pistol shrimp, or like peacock shrimp, like fighting other like sea critters or things like that. Do you follow Sam O'Nilla?
Yeah. I was actually watching some of his stuff the other day.
Yeah, he finally came back. I'm a huge fan of his.
Yeah, he's real funny.
Yeah, I like him a lot. Let's see. Interesting. So, I don't know if you remember this, but about a year or two ago, maybe 3 even, Watch Mojo put out the top 10 horror narrators on YouTube. Did you see that?
Oh, I remember that. Swamp Dweller got on the list.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm not salty or anything, but no, I'm just joking. I'm real happy for everybody that got on the list. I have no expectations on things like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's. I don't really think of it as a contest. I think of it as like if I had gotten on the list, it would have been just as random as not being on the list to me. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was for sure thinking you were going to be on there. I thought Mortis Media was going to be on there. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I don't know if you follow like the Phantom Librarian. I was surprised he wasn't on there, but yeah, there's a bunch of channels I was super surprised were not on there. But yeah, that made me laugh.
Yeah, I thought it was actually pretty cool that Swamp Dweller got on there.
Yeah, are you a good buddy of his?
Yeah, we've worked together quite a few times. We play games from time to time. We actually had this idea we were gonna do, which we haven't done, might still someday, because we both hit 100,000 about the same time, and we had this joke. I think at the time that happened, there was all that stuff going on YouTube where it's like sitting in a bath full of Cheetos or sitting in a bathtub full of Pepto-Bismol, like all that wacky stuff with bathtubs for some reason. And we were like, I'll come down to where you are. We'll get hundreds of things of ice cream, fill a bathtub full of it, and then eat it to celebrate 100,000. And he was all up for it. I was up for it, but then we just didn't make it happen. But we might still someday, and then I guess we'll die of sugar overdosing.
Yeah, no, for sure. So, if I can assume correctly, you would both be in the tub eating it, correct?
Oh yeah, you know it. In the tub, that's for sure. That was the whole point.
Okay, I was like, all right, like that's the next level. Like that's where you gotta go.
Right?
Nice.
Hot tub live streams, more like ice cream bathtub live streams. Wow, I can't talk.
No, you're good. Nice. Speaking of the topic of different narrators, who are some of your favorite horror narrators that you listen to?
I really like Vidith, Swamp Dweller. Let's see. Mr. Creepypasta was the first narrator I listened to. I used to listen to him when I was working as a janitor at the college I was going to for a while.
Oh, wow.
And I'd have to wake up at like 4 a.m. and to go clean like the gym and stuff. And while I was doing that, I'd listen to a bunch of Mr. Creepypasta stories like The Showers. And,
Yes.
there's this one, The Showers, and this other one of his that he did a long time ago that I really want to do. It's called The Black Pill. And I always really liked that one, but I can't find that story anywhere. So
Really?
But I do have permission to do The Showers, so I'm gonna do that sometime.
Oh, nice. That would go very well. Yeah, I remember. I think Be Besta read it. That's where I heard it from. I was like, wow, this is a good one. So that's awesome.
Yeah, I really like that story.
So here's kind of an interesting question for you. I don't know if you've ever been asked this, but do you consider yourself famous?
No, not really, but I don't, some people would look at, like, the amount of subscribers I have, or the views that some of my videos get, and say that I am, but I don't really feel like that. I feel like I am part of a community.
Okay.
Like, I'm part of a community that likes to listen to these types of stories, likes to write these types of stories, and I feel like I'm just one piece in that community. I don't feel like I'm any more special, really, than anybody that creates or even anybody that watches or like listens to that content. You know, I just feel like I'm one amongst many in a specific community.
Okay, interesting. I think definitely that you are a higher level than most of us. I think I would think of you like when I think of top 5 or top 10, you obviously come to mind. At what point would you consider you or your channel to be famous?
I don't know. That's I guess like if I don't know, if I had 1 million subscribers, I could see. I would say that I'm popular. Like if I had 1 million subscribers, or I guess where I'm at now, I could say that I'm popular within a community of people who like listening to this stuff. But I don't think I would ever consider myself popular just like in general, or like famous in general, you know?
Okay.
Because it's not like I'm gonna be walking down the street and somebody's gonna see me and be like, oh shit, it's that guy who reads stories.
Right.
So like, I feel like I may be famous within the community, but I guess that's really all that matters, you know, because the community and the people here are the people I'm making the videos for. So.
Okay, interesting. So that actually brings me to my next question. Has anyone ever recognized you, outside of the community by just your voice?
Yes, once when I was living in Washington, but I don't know for sure, because they said I was talking to somebody I was getting food, and I was like at a drive-through, and they asked me, like, I was sitting there waiting for them to give my card back, and they asked if I like, they're like, hey, do I know you or something? And I was like, I don't think so. And they're like, you sound really familiar. And they're like, you sound like this YouTube channel that I watch. But at the time, for some reason, because this was back when I was in Washington, so I had just barely hit, like, I think 100,000, which I know is still a lot. But at the time, I was like, there's no possible way I would ever run into anybody in real life who would recognize me. So I just didn't even think that was happening. I guess maybe that person did, you know, like, it was somebody who watched, or could have been somebody who watched my channel and recognized my voice, or they could have just been mistaken, but...
Interesting. That's very interesting. I think for sure, yeah, they probably did. I actually lived in Washington for about 6 months, about 3 years ago, so that's interesting.
Oh, really? Yeah, I lived in Washington 4 years ago, too. I lived up in Bury, and I was also a mailman in Tacoma.
Oh, you're in Tacoma. I lived over in Puyallup. So not too far.
I lived there too while I was working as a mailman. I worked in Tacoma, but I lived in Puyallup by the Safeway off the freeway.
Oh, nice. Yeah, cool. I worked a couple days over. I was interning at the time at Enterprise, and they had me go over to Tacoma a couple times. But yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Small
Yeah.
world.
Wow. Yeah. It's small world indeed. That would have been crazy had we ran into each other. Like
Right?
you might have delivered me mail or something. That would have been cool.
Very possible.
Zorro Poodle Pup wants to know, what advice do you have for growing a YouTube channel?
I guess my advice would be to not focus on numbers. When I first started, and even now, it's still like I do the narrations because I enjoy it. Even though it is my job, I still try to think of it as a hobby, because for a while there, I did get kind of like focused on the numbers. And when you get focused on the numbers, it sucks a lot of the enjoyment out of it, because
Right.
when you put a lot of time into something, especially something creative, and you have like these expectations for it, like, oh, this video is so great, it's gonna get X amount of views and people are gonna respond to it in this way, or like be like, I hope they respond to it in this way. When you upload it, if it doesn't go exactly as you thought, or exceed those expectations, then it can feel like you failed.
Right.
And that feeling will like eat away at the enjoyment you get from doing it in the first place. And so if you go into it just thinking about numbers, or thinking about like, I'm doing this because I'm gonna make like a career out of it, it's gonna be my job, I need to get X amount of views on these videos and stuff like this, it can become real miserable, like really fast. I mean, not for everybody. I'm sure some people like thrive on that, and some people, I don't know, love that type of like the stress that can bring.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, the best way to do it organically is to just be honest with like yourself and your creativity, and be like, I want to make this video because it's just what I want to make, and then just do it. And then over time, people will find it, and you'll find a community of people. Like, you'll find a community of people that want that thing you're making, instead of trying to like find the best thing you can make to just get views, you know?
Yeah.
If that makes sense?
No, I
I
got
hope
you.
that wasn't too rambly.
Oh, no. That made perfect sense. Because I'm teetering on that edge of doing this full time and doing this as a part-time gig, and I'm right where that is, where some months are very successful, some months are not, and it's super weird to balance that, and I can't imagine. So is it safe to assume, do you do this full time, or do you do something else as well?
I do this full time.
Okay.
The money I receive off YouTube is my primary income.
Okay. So how do you balance that? Because this is full time for you. So how do you balance from keeping, like, mentally, I should say, how do you keep yourself from like looking at the numbers, and how are you able to always deliver that high quality content without, getting in your own mind?
Well, it's definitely come from just like experience. It's kind of like trying to figure the best way to describe it. It almost comes from trial and error. It comes from getting almost like, getting to the point where you worry about the numbers, and then realizing that's where you're at, and backing up, being like, okay, I'm starting to get, too hung up on one specific thing, and it's really kind of taking the enjoyment out. I need to remind myself that that's not the important part, because at the end of the day, there will still be like people that want to watch what I do. I don't have to rush out a video to stop people from unsubscribing. I don't have to rush out a video to make sure that my daily views don't drop below a certain number, because I know that when I do put out a video, the people that want to watch it will come back and watch it.
Right.
And that's that's the primary mindset that I try to have, and that makes it a lot more relaxed, makes it so that I can take time, and so that if I'm working on something today and it's getting late, I don't start stressing, being like, I really need to finish this because I didn't upload yesterday, and so I really have to make sure I upload tomorrow. And if I don't finish this now, then that means I'm not going to be able to upload tomorrow, and then my views are going to, if you get in that mindset, it just kind of like spirals. So before I even get to that point, I just remind myself, like, I don't have to finish this right now. I can take the extra time to make the sound design better, or to make the music better, and then just upload it whenever it's ready.
Nice. Yeah. No, I think you touched on it. Because yeah, you have to kind of worry about it at the same time, but at the but you gotta kind of put it on the back shelf and move forward. I think I think you executed that question very well.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let me ask you this. I know that you say that you don't, or you worry that people like the sound of your voice or whatever. But I mean, I would be inclined to say that as a viewer and a sub myself, around 590,000 subscribers. I think that we can all agree that you have a gift. At what point did you realize that you had a gift for what you do? Uh-oh, I lost him again. I'm trying to bring him back. Alright, let's see if I can get him back. Sorry about that. I think we got you back.
Hello.
Hey, sorry.
No worries. So what'd you say?
So, at what point in your career did you realize that
Oh, yeah.
you had a gift?
All right. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say I have a gift. I feel like there's not, like, what I do, I feel like pretty much anybody could do. It's when I started the channel, it was with the music in mind, but it was also with like when I went into it, I was like, what would I want to listen? What would I want to hear if I was listening to this story? And I thought to myself, well, I guess it'd be cool if it sounded like it was just happening around me instead of just being told about a story. It would be better if it sounded like I was there. So that's when I just started doing the sound design. As far as the music, I try to just write, like I try to just add the music that kind of fits what I feel like is happening in that moment. But at the same time, I like a lot of the music that I make is inspired by the old Silent Hill games, and
Oh yeah.
I just like when I think about horror, the best kind of horror to me is the kind that stays with you,
Right.
and is deeper than just the jump scare type horror,
Right.
more like an unsettling or melancholy, somber type horror. And so in a lot of the stories, I'll try to offset the story with either sad or somber music, and that's really it. So I don't really feel like I have too much talent compared to like anybody else who could do it. But yeah, I don't know. I'm very bad at accepting compliments, so I always get weird when people ask me stuff like that. So I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I understand. Okay, so let's see here. So let me ask you this: what are some kind of the videos that you work on, and you're like, oh, this is going to be a good one? What type of videos do you get excited about?
I get excited about ones that, well, personally, I get excited about ones that have a very good sense of ambience, or like, kind of like where the writing of the story does a good job of pulling you into the environment, because then on top of that, I can build that sense of immersion like a little bit higher with the sound design. Like stories like The Lost City of Corona.
Okay.
That one has a really good sense of atmosphere, and so I really like the ones where I don't know if I'm answering this good, but like I really like the ones where I guess I can do a lot of stuff with sound design, because I really like doing sound design. I think it's fun.
Absolutely.
But also the ones that just like bring with it kind of like an emotional. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
No, I got you. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting question, and I think people can answer it differently. Swamp Dweller says he came here for Ronnie's gym socks.
my arch nemesis, Swamp Dweller.
Yeah. Swamp Dweller, Ronnie promised us a ice cream bathtub video at some point.
Okay. Yeah, I told him about that. I told him about the ice cream bathtub thing.
So I'll be anticipating that. Quick question for you. What other platforms are you on, and do you have a Patreon?
I do have a Patreon, yeah. It's just under the same name, Dark Somnium.
Okay.
And I have a podcast, but it's just the channel, but in podcast form. So when I upload a video to YouTube, I'll usually also upload the audio to the Dark Somnium, which like on Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that, where it's listed as a podcast.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it always fascinates me to see different narrators with different platforms and things like that. So White Crackers wants to know, I think you've already touched on it really quick, but what ideas do you have for the Halloween season for your channel? I think you mentioned a live stream and a couple of different videos.
Yeah, I'm thinking about doing a live stream where I'll do some live readings, maybe on or around Halloween. And I also have a few stories planned to release within the week of Halloween. So I think, yeah, just starting next week, I'm going to be releasing a few videos, a few long ones. I have more of the Settlements series. I'm hoping to completely actually finish that up next week, so I might be releasing, I think there's 3 chapters left of the Settlement series.
Okay.
And I already have them recorded, so I'm just finishing up the sound design, and I'll be trying to post those next week. And
nice.
In addition to a few other ones, I have a back rooms story, which I'll be posting around Halloween.
Oh, nice. I know that's quite popular right now, so nice.
Yeah, people have been asking for more of that.
Yeah, no, we just from the comments here in my stream, people are very excited for the stream coming up. So I'll be looking for that as well. Do you know what day you're gonna do that on?
Probably with maybe like Halloween's on Monday, so
Halloween.
Probably like the 29th or the 29th or the 30th, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Like maybe that weekend before Halloween.
Nice, yeah, for sure. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled, and I will be stalking your channel just to keep an eye on that. That's awesome. Here's an interesting question. What does your family think of your channel? Ronnie, come back. Did we get you back, Ronnie? Dang it. We lost Ronnie to the Sharks. Are you back? Sorry about that.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that keeps happening. I'm not sure if it's on my end or yours.
I think it's mine. I don't know what's doing
But what
it.
was the last thing you heard me say?
So, I asked you what your family thinks of your channel.
Oh, okay. Well, and not to get like too sad or anything. I'm not saying this to like bring everybody down, but most of the people that would have been close enough to me to really care about that have passed away.
Oh no.
My sister knows about it, and she thinks it's cool. She doesn't listen to it, but nah, I don't really have any other family that's like close enough to really, talk to me about that type of stuff. So.
Okay, well, I'm sorry about that.
It's life.
I'm sorry. Let's see here. Let's see. Someone wants to know, do you have any animals?
Yes, I have 3 ferrets.
3 ferrets. Nice.
Yeah, they're like long rats. They're crackheads, and they poop everywhere.
Nice. I think I might have ferrets, but in dog form.
Oh, yeah.
Ferrets
are pretty cool, except they get sick a lot. You have to take them to the vet like once a month.
So I watched a video a couple months ago, maybe even a year or 2 ago, about this guy who would hunt with them. Or maybe I'm thinking of another animal. but he would like hunt like rats with them. Is that a ferret activity?
I guess yeah. If you, ugh, that'd be scary. But yeah, you could probably do that. I think that's what the ferrets were first domesticated for, was for hunting and for stuff like that.
Nice. What got you into ferrets?
Faith has ferrets. That's my girlfriend.
Okay.
So when we got together, she had a ferret, and then we decided to get a few more.
Oh, nice.
They're pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I always think of like animals like ferrets or like chinchillas or like they're not exotic animals, but they're like animals you don't typically see. I'm like, how do people get into that? So interesting.
Mm-hmm. It's stupid that ferrets are illegal in some countries.
Really?
Not countries, wow, states like California. You can't have ferrets.
Really interesting. I did not know that. Let's see here. What types of scary stories do you find the scariest? Or what are some types of stories you don't even mess with?
I don't have a lot. Like, I've been reading a lot of stories, and actually, okay. So the only thing that really actually creeps me out in any media is the traditional like lanky gray aliens. Ever since I was a kid, they freaked me out. So like stories about aliens, especially like lanky ones creeping outside your window at like 2 a.m. Those ones will get me like kind of like, you know, like looking over my shoulder while I'm recording. But that's pretty much it. That's the only thing. And other than that, I don't really have any limits for stories. I mean, from anybody that's listened to a lot of my stories, there's this one story I did called Tommy Taffy, and if I was okay with doing that one, I'm pretty much okay with doing any story. Okay,
interesting. I'll have to go check that one out right away. Yeah, so you're not a big fan of the lanky alien ones. So I'm guessing you're not a fan of like the Close Encounters movies.
I saw The Fourth Kind. That movie scared the shit out of me. Because I first watched that back when I was living by myself. Oh man, you don't even know. I turned on every light in my house and I stayed awake for 2 days straight.
Wow.
Because back then I was only sleeping every other night anyway, because I got on a terrible sleep schedule. Because I used to work graveyard shifts, and that kind of just converted into me only sleeping like every other night when I would get tired. And that, coupled with the fact that I was freaked out about aliens, because that movie's freaky as shit, I was like, nah, I'm just gonna stay up all night and work on videos. And I think I ended up releasing like 2 or 3 videos that day. Wow. Just because I like worked on videos nonstop.
Interesting. Wow, I'm actually surprised. I did not think aliens to be your Achilles heel in a way.
It's just the way they look, the lanky ones.
Yeah.
Creeping around outside windows. Ugh.
Yeah, no, I gotcha. For me, I don't mess with like demon stories. And then if I'm like out camping, I won't listen to skinwalker stories.
That makes sense. I mean, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, who would? Crazy people, that's who.
Yeah, no, yeah. Let's see here. I think you already answered this question, but isolated_alien wants to know, what's your favorite video you've made?
My favorite video? I don't know if I have a favorite because there are so many good stories, but I really like the Northern Lights and what happens when the stars go out, and Notes in the Dark is really good too. Like, every time somebody asks me that question, my answer always changes because there are just so many good stories. Like, ask me that in 2 weeks and I'll probably give you a different set of stories.
No, I hear you.
But the fun fact also, since you mentioned skinwalkers, I used to live out in Utah with my grandparents.
Nice.
And there's this place in Utah called the Skinwalker Ranch.
Oh yeah.
And they lived they lived across the street from the giant, like, you know, plot of land that's like what, 30 or like 100 acres or something. Like, just literally across the street was the fence to that property.
Interesting. Did you ever experience anything interesting?
No, I was thinking about going back to my grandpa's house with like a video camera and recording the area and making a video about it, because there's literally nothing happens out there. Like, I don't want to be like a downer, but all of those videos on YouTube saying that stuff happens are just like straight up lying. Like, really? I lived there for all of my childhood and continued to go out there every summer in my teenage years. Not one thing happened. It's so boring out there. Like, literally the most boring place I've ever been to.
Interesting. Do you think it's like a way to get attention to that area, or do you think it's just like, what kind of agenda do you think people have with that?
Well, I feel like, urban legends, stuff like that, people love that stuff,
Mm-hmm.
gravitate towards it. It's funner to, have like a spooky story attached to an area than to not have a spooky
Right.
story attached to an area,
Mm-hmm.
because if nothing happens there, then there's nothing to talk about. There's no fun, scary mystery to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that the reason it came back up and in those documentaries is because in 2008, that plot of land was bought by a company called like Adamant Co. or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and they renamed it to the Adamant Skinwalker Ranch. And then those documentaries came out. So it's my theory that they bought the land and then have been hyping up the theories so that they can sell it for a profit.
Okay, I can see that. Nice. Unworthy Time wants to know: will you consider getting your stories animated?
That'd be cool. If I, knew somebody who did it or was like could do it, I'd be down for that. Um, other than that, it's difficult to kind of like hire people, especially
Right.
with with how much like an animator would charge to
Right.
fully animate something of like the length of a story I do,
Mm-hmm.
usually would end up costing more than like the video would make, which I don't have a problem with that. Like creativity doesn't always have to be a profit. Creativity can be just made for the sake of creativity.
Right.
And I would know there are plenty of stories where I've paid the author more than I've made on the video, which I'm totally fine with, just because like I said, creativity. I don't need to repeat myself. But damn, I started rambling again.
No, you're good.
Short
Totally.
answer, yes. It'd be cool to animate it someday.
Okay, cool. I'm just gonna kind of do like a rapid fire questions from the chat, and then I want to go into a fun question I personally saved for the last, because I like to dive deep on this one. Project Delta wants to know: what microphones do you recommend for narrating?
Well, honestly, any microphone can be good. It really is, like a lot of it is in the mixing. If you get good at mixing or understand mixing, you can do so much with such a low quality mic. Like the for the first 2-3 years for my time on YouTube, and this is including like stories like like the Third Parent, and even some of the Left Right game. I recorded on a $14 microphone that I got from Walmart.
Oh wow.
And it's just over the years I got better and better at mixing. So if you went and listened to my first video, and then you went and listened to the Left Right game, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that they were recorded on the exact same microphone. It's just that over time my mixing got better. So yeah, definitely when you're thinking about like your audio quality and stuff, look into mixing, because that'll do a lot for you. The microphone obviously is like half the equation, but
Right.
the microphone I use now is called the AKG C214, I think.
Okay. Interesting.
And I upgraded to that about 2.5 years ago. No, just 2 years ago, and it's been really good.
Okay, nice. White Crackers wants to know: did you do any editing or technology in high school or in college?
Not in high school. I did go to college for commercial music, but I did not finish. I only went for a year because I figured that they weren't teaching me anything I didn't already know, and yeah, I was also just very bad at it. I failed my English class, and I hate school, so.
Okay, no, I feel you. I wasn't very good at school either. Yeah, interesting. Okay, so here's my big question, and I love these kind of questions. Let's see, what is a conspiracy that you think to be true, and that is currently going on now?
I guess I'm not much into conspiracies, but I guess the one that makes the most sense to me would be that Epstein didn't kill himself,
Right.
considering he was friends with the president at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, I'm right there with you with that one. I'm more referring to like conspiracies with like I guess it wouldn't be a conspiracy, but like different cryptids and things like that. So you kind of touched
those types of conspiracies.
Yeah, so you kind of touched on one with Skinwalker Ranch, where that makes total sense to me, where I think that they commercialized that concept to make more money. Do you think that that's something going on with all cryptids? Or do you think there's something going on out there where there's like a cover-up going on or anything like that?
I don't. I mean, there's lots of cover-ups going on, but all of them are really just related to the government and stuff like that. I personally don't feel like there's anything in terms of cryptids and stuff like that that are real. I know that probably makes me a bit of a buzzkill, but personally, just with our technology and everything we have, I don't think it would be possible for things like that to exist without us having heavily documented them.
Okay, so you're referring to like anything with like video capture or if there were to be something out there, then it would be documented to some degree, right?
Right, or would just be, like it would be too difficult to hide things like that. If there really were things like, like the Mothman or Bigfoot, stuff like that. But then again, that's personally just me, and I'm not going to pretend that I know for sure. I could be wrong. I think that a conspiracy is that a lot of the stuff that people see as UFOs and stuff like that, and like be like, oh, this pill-shaped object that can propel with no visible, like thrust, stuff like that. To me, that's all just the military. It seems like just like military, they're like testing weapons and like new types of aircraft and stuff like that, and they're just way more advanced than we thought they were. That seems the more likely to me, but that's me personally.
No, absolutely. I think I think actually I would take about 90% of what you said to be the case, and then I would want to say, just because I like to have fun with it, I've watched different documentaries where people have taken alien technology and put it into those different aircraft. So technically speaking, it would be a military aircraft, but they've taken it and made a hybrid vehicle from like an alien spacecraft and made it. They weaponized it somehow.
Yeah, I mean that's always possible. I know just as much as anybody else. I can't pretend I don't, or I can't pretend I know anymore. So yeah, so that definitely it's always possible.
Well, I write 95% of my stories, and so I kind of have to get a little bit not fanatical, but I have to get a little fantastical with like some of my stories. And so to me, the scariest stories that I listen to are the ones that are obviously scary, but the ones that make sense, where it's like, oh, that could definitely be a thing. And so I look at like concepts like skinwalkers or the rake or like wendigos or things like that. And I'm like, all right, if these were to be real, how would it be done? And so like I don't know, I just think about like how like in Jurassic Park, how they wanted to weaponize the dinosaurs and use them like for like military purposes. I think about like military bases taking those different aspects and like making these different hybrid creatures and keeping them in labs and things like that.
That makes sense. Yeah, that'd be pretty interesting. I wonder how much more viable something like that would be over like traditional weapons or getting into the area of autonomous weapons.
Yeah.
The robots and stuff where you can strap a gun to them and then just have them roll out and stuff like that. I wonder how, those type like organic life forms that have been engineered for combat would fare over newer technologies.
Yeah. No, yeah, exactly. And like especially with like drones and things like that, like that's going to be like the future with like AI. But I think about like you're saying like those types of life forms, and then like maybe that's the reason for some of these different sightings for different things, is maybe they got out of containment or something like that. But like that's kind of where I am with those
right,
with those kind of things. But as a writer, like I kind of have to make things up but make it real to me, if that makes sense.
Well, yeah, and that totally makes sense. And honestly, I think it's good that people do that, because if people didn't do that, then there'd be nothing like that there wouldn't be any fictional stories that are just meant to be fun if there weren't people who were first taking those, those immersive steps to help themselves write. If everybody, like everyone has their own method towards creation,
Right.
and I'm sure that what I do would like the community around it would be a lot smaller if there weren't a lot more people who were open to those ideas.
Right. So I gotta ask, even though that's one of the things you don't like talking about or things like that, but do you consider aliens real?
Um, I do think aliens exist. I believe that it's very unlikely that humans are the only, or that humans are the only intelligent life form uh, in the universe. But I do not think that we could be in contact with any aliens. I feel like any aliens that exist would they'd be too much too far away for us to interact with barring any sort of technology that could allow them to traverse the universe, within such small, within a time frame that would cancel that out, because I think what's the nearest habitable planet we know of is 1,000 light years away, which is over 1,000 years of traveling if you were traveling the speed of light.
Right.
And unless some of the planets in our solar system are habitable and they, we're just being lied to, then those life forms on that habitable planet would have to find a way to travel here much quicker than the speed of light. Otherwise, the only other explanation would be, if they existed 1,000 years ago, started traveling 1,000 years ago, and just got here, and they have invisible ships, and they're just kind of floating out there in space. I feel like it'd be ignorant for me to say that that's not happening because I have no idea.
Right.
But at the same time, I haven't seen really anything to make me believe that it is. But I do believe that aliens exist for sure.
Okay. Yeah. For me personally, I think that as well. I think that there's no sure way for us to know, because if there were to be something very evident like that, it would be covered up by either the military or by the government. I don't think that that's something that they'd want us to know about. But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. What are your... So there's different... another one that I often hear is different types of subspecies of humanoids or whatever, prior, in previous Earth history and things like that. I've read a couple of articles talking about the Nephilim, giants and things like that being their skeletons being destroyed. The Smithsonian doesn't want to give it acknowledgement to these different types of people or species. Do you have any any theories on that or anything like that, or do you think that's just more fun fan fiction?
That one's a little bit of a gray area because I don't want to make it sound like I am in any way saying this as something against religion or the Bible or anything. But a lot of our world is shaped in a way to kind of funnel us into a certain belief system. And a lot of things like that, from my understanding, the Nephilim originally originated from the Bible, the Old Testament. And so, if you're hearing people say proof that Nephilim exists, proof that such and such, another way for it to hear that is proof that the Bible is correct, proof that the things in the Bible says are correct, so you better believe the Bible. That's just I'm not saying that's not true. I'm not saying things like that don't exist, and I'm definitely not saying that the Bible and all that stuff isn't true. I'm not trying to bash anybody's beliefs, but it's kind of if somebody was to come up and be like, hey, we found Noah's Ark, here's all of the pieces of Noah's Ark. That would just be proof that the Bible is correct. It would go in a I don't know, Christian museum. I feel like if there was a full Nephilim statue, it would end up in some sort of in the Vatican or some sort of theology based museum, if that makes sense.
Okay. Interesting.
Trying not to ramble.
No, you're good. So you think that that is something that is like a topic that is used to like further the belief of different systems already established, basically.
Uh, kind of, because, well, I'm not going to say that for sure,
Okay.
but that's just, one aspect of it when I think of stuff like that. Unless Nephilim comes from something else, and I'm like that I'm not aware of.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll be honest. I'm not too familiar with the concept. I remember seeing a couple of things like that, and then there was a story in the early 2000s about like a SEAL team or something that came across like these giants out in the like Iraqi desert. Have you heard that?
I don't think I have.
Yeah, so I think Mr. Ballin might touch on it or something. I can't remember, but long story short is they go in this very remote desert and they come across this cave, and inside the cave is like a family of these giants, and a lot of these different SEAL team members have came out and given like verified statements about having to have killed these large humans. But I that like it like you said, I don't think that's either true nor false. I'm just asking what your thoughts on it. Me personally, I feel like you said, it would be very difficult to conceal, especially at this point in time. Like if you look at all these different things that we have going on, like so many leaks are happening just within our government and with different things that I don't think something like that could be hidden very well.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I got you.
But yeah. Well, cool. I don't know if I had any other questions for you. Let's see. Here's an intro. Sorry, did you have anything?
Oh, well, Slavic asked a question. Was that what you were gonna?
Yeah. I was gonna. He wants to know: do you fish? Are you a big fisherman?
Well, I grew up in Utah, which is landlocked and has the second saltiest body of water in the world. So there's not a lot of fish. I mean, I guess there probably is in like Lake Powell or something, but I was too poor to go anywhere where there were fish, so I never picked up fishing.
Okay, cool. White Crackers wants to know: have you ever lived in an area where you heard stories about certain creatures? I mean, you mentioned the Skinwalker Ranch one.
Yeah, that's interesting. I never heard anything there, which, I would go to the on the reservation once a year. They have a powwow, which is really cool, where they, the people from the tribe would come out, and they would hold a festival. They would, set up carts and stalls, and they'd sell homemade stuff. It's really cool.
Oh, nice.
And I talked to some people there just about the history of the area, and I never once heard any Native American person tell me about the skinwalkers and stuff that would come out at night and things like that. I never heard anything about that. Mostly I would just hear how coyotes will kill your cat if you don't let it in the house at night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I gotcha. See, someone wants to know: could you release music sheets or visualizers for your music?
Yeah, I could definitely do that. I have some visualizers. Whenever I upload music on my channel, I've been working on doing some more visualizers. As for sheet music, fun fact, I don't know how to read sheet music. All of the music I make is by ear, so I dropped out of... I know that going into college for music, you probably should already know how to read sheet music, but I just hadn't learned. And for some reason, in my music theory class, they just were like, nah, we're not going to teach you that. I guess they probably just expected me to know it, which makes sense.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't really think I could do sheet music, but I could probably hire somebody to transpose my music into sheet music. I guess I could just learn how to read sheet music too.
Yeah. See, Banshee wants to know: have you ever gone hunting? And if so, what is your favorite way?
I'm gonna make myself sound real lame here. I don't do hunting. I'm not against hunting. I definitely, if I was in a situation where I had to kill an animal for food, I definitely would. But I've never really been one to think of it as something I would do recreationally.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't ever been hunting. Well, I have, just not in the traditional sense, I would say. But yeah, I grew up in the South, and I've always wanted to go, but I just never did. That's just not something my family really did. Um,
Yeah, and in Utah, the only things you'd be hunting, I guess, is like you could go out and shoot prairie dogs if you're insane,
yeah,
or you could go out and try to shoot a mountain lion. Have fun with that.
yeah, yeah. No, for real. Let's see here. Do you have any other projects or anything that we should be looking for? I think you kind of touched on some stuff, but is there anything else that we need to look for?
I got this one story I'm doing called The Whistlers, which is I'm pretty excited for. That's gonna be fun. And let's see. Other than that, I'm gonna focus on some shorter stuff, just like the half an hour, 40-minute range for a little while. Since I
Okay.
just did the 6.5 hour long one,
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to get on a routine of doing maybe just like at least one, like medium to long story a week. And then once I get a nice schedule down and I'm consistent with that, I'll probably uh, put out some longer ones too. But for now, I'm probably just going to focus on those medium length ones.
Okay.
Aside from the Whistlers, because that one's going to be like 3 hours. But
Wow, dang. How long is that something like that going to take you? Have to like on the back end.
um, it really depends, honestly. Every story is different because every story has different, needs for music and sound design.
Mm-hmm.
The NFC took about a year because there are so many musical cues. There are so many sound effects. I made, I think, over 10 different musical tracks for the NFC. Some of them only play for like 30 seconds, but I'll spend like 2 or 3 days working on like the music for just like a 5 second little sting or transition, for that, because in that story it was calling for certain types of music at different times. But other stories like the Whistlers don't have any musical cues. They don't really mention music much at all, so it cuts the production time down a lot and really just makes it so most of the time is spent on editing the different lines together and doing the sound design.
Okay. Interesting. Let's see. Are you a big gamer?
Yeah, I like to play games. I used to play a lot of League of Legends and World of Warcraft, but now I find myself playing much more like relaxed games like City Skylines or No Man's Sky. Planet Zoo is pretty fun. They just released a Halloween update, so probably gonna make a zoo that has some scary bats or something.
Oh,
Real
nice.
spooktacular. Call it the Dark Somni Zoo because I'm real good at naming stuff.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's cool. Let's see. Ben Duffy wants to know, beyond spelling and grammar, what is the cardinal sin when it comes to creepypasta stories?
The cardinal sin. I think the worst thing you can do when writing a creepypasta story is not including the line, its smile was impossibly wide. I feel like that has to go in every single creepypasta ever. Otherwise, are you even writing a creepypasta?
Yeah. No, I always think, me personally, I think it would be the overuse of cliches.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I would think that, but yeah, no. Like, there's some things about a creepypasta that has to be yeah, it's got to be in there. I agree with you. What is what's your favorite creepypasta?
Like classic creepypasta.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Uh,
If you have one.
I don't even know. I'm trying to think. Maybe burger entries, or I don't. I guess I don't know. It depends. I'm sure that if somebody else would say like classic creepypastas are just Jeff the Killer, Slenderman, Tiki Toby, Ben Drowned, those ones.
Yeah.
I guess that the one that I remember the most as being my favorite when I first started was probably be Eyeless Jack.
Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to check that one out. Someone wants to know, when are you going to release the OST from the NFC narration?
Well, I have some of the songs done. I've just been waiting until I finish all of them because I want to release them all at once. And when I make music for stories, I usually make them as I'm doing the sound design. So I'll kind of like the music in the story will be kind of like a live scoring. And so sometimes when you hear music in a story, that's
Mm-hmm.
all I've made for that song is literally what plays in the story because I like literally made that part for that moment.
Hmm.
So after a story's done, I have to go back and then try to like expand upon all of the songs,
Mm-hmm.
and that takes me a little while because I'm much better at writing full songs in one sitting than I am at coming back to a song later and trying to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm got about 4 of the tracks completely done, and I have like 6 more to do. No, 7 more to do, but they're not too long. The ones I have done are the main theme and 2 other character themes.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Let's see. Here's one of my personal questions for you. Do you watch your own videos?
Not really. There are some stories that I really like and I'll come back and listen to now and again, but I rarely listen to full stories. Like one story that I like to come back and listen to now and again is called "The Dissociative Death of Victor Oswell," I think. And I like coming back to that one because it's very weird, and I like the sound design in it. That's one of the ones that I was kind of proud of when I put it out. I mean, not to say that I'm not proud of all my stories because I always try to do my best in the sound design. But yeah, I really like how that one turned out. But I don't like listening to my own voice. Oh,
Really?
I turn my microphone a little bit. Okay, I don't like listening to my own voice. I just because I don't know. I just don't really like hearing myself talk. So by the time I get done editing and doing the sound design, I'm kind of like I never want to hear this story again because I just like kind of like listen to it for probably like 15, 16 hours straight over
Right.
and over again doing the sound
Right.
design and like adding the music and stuff. So by the time a video goes up, I've heard it so many times already that I rarely come back to it and listen to it again.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, that was yeah. I'm kind of with you on that one as well. There's a very few times. There's a handful of stories I've done where I'm like, oh, I really like that one. And I'll go back and listen to it. But yeah, I'm right there with you where it's just like I can't stand my voice. I listen to it all day, and it's like when you do like a school project, and it's just like I've beaten this horse dead like a million times, and I don't want to hear it again. So that's funny. So I guess my last and final question for you would be, who is a channel that has inspired your channel, or has inspired your work, I should say, and who is someone that you look forward to potentially collabing with?
Honestly, when I first started, the only channel that I really listened to a lot that I could say inspired how I do narrations would be Mr. Creepypasta. Not to say that there's anything against any other channels, that I listen at the time. It's just that when I started making my narrations, I was like, I like listening to Mr. Creepypasta's narrations. I think it'd be cool if I had original music, and I think it'd be cool if I had sound design, and that's pretty much just what I tried to start doing. And as far as people I want to work with, I've actually already worked with pretty much anybody that I, at the time would have been like, oh, it'd be a dream to work with this person. I've worked with Mr. Creepypasta. I've worked with Let's Read. I did that collaboration on wow. Why am I'm completely forgetting his name. He started putting out music. He's gotten
Corpse
fairly
Husband.
famous on social media or lately. Corpse Husband. That's it. We did that collaboration on his channel. So I don't really think there's anybody that I'd be like, oh, I'm dying to work with this person.
Okay, interesting. Not even like a Mr. Beast or a PewDiePie or anyone like that.
Nah. I mean, I guess it'd be kind of cool to work with them, but I don't really think it would be natural because unless both of them got into storytelling, it would just be like kind of random and out of nowhere.
Okay. Interesting. Kind of I guess a random one is would you ever be down for like a horror convention or anything like that?
Yeah, that'd be real cool. I think that'd be awesome. Yeah, if there's if conventions like the YouTuber conventions start being a thing again, I thought about going to one of those. But yeah, I think it'd be totally cool to do something like that.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool. I just don't. I really struggle seeing that being a very feasible thing, at least for the horror community, unless I don't
Oh,
know.
you got some spam in your channel.
Oh,
It's one of
jeez.
those. One of
Yeah,
those spots.
I get that quite a bit. Well,
Ah, that's
shoot.
cool.
Well, shoot.
It happens to the best of us.
What was that?
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. Well, shoot. Do you have any questions or anything that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I guess. What's your goal for your channel? Like, what do you hope to see for your channel in like a year or two?
Oh, that's a great question. Something like that. Obviously, the 100K is a big milestone. I wanted to get to 50K at the end of the year. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but it sounds kind of silly. But like, I kind of have the Ash Ketchum mentality where I just want to be like my best, if that makes sense. Where I can just, I don't know, just have like when people think of a horror channel, like my channel comes to mind. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I wish you the best of luck. I think that what you're doing so far is, I can definitely see you getting there. I really like what you have going on. I was gonna actually check out one of the stories you had posted. I saw it. It was let me go back. I think it was from like. Oh yeah, the Cornfield Stalker. I was gonna listen to that little series you had going on.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that one. So that one's actually kind of fun. That one's actually it's slowly. It actually. So I have a couple of different series that I've written. That one actually gets. It becomes later on a part of another series. But I won't ruin it for you. Yeah. So you'll have to let me know if you like that or not.
Oh yeah, I will for sure. Hey, Spirit Voices is here.
Yeah, Spirit Voices. Yeah, I'm gonna have her on next week. I think sometime next week. But yeah.
Oh, very exciting.
Well, awesome, Ronnie. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for your time and with your awesome insight. I wish you the best. Obviously, you're doing great things, and we look forward to seeing more. Hopefully, I could shine a little bit of a light on your other projects, and I can send some traffic that way with that. But that's awesome. I'm gonna right after this. I'm gonna go binge some of your music that you got.
Oh, sick. Thanks. Yeah, I was actually, I don't know if you're interested, but there's a song that I made for my last video that I'm going to be releasing soon. If anybody's interested in hearing it early, I'd be happy to play it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you want to play it now?
Sure, let me load it up real quick.
Very nice.
I've been trying to do more like lo-fi Silent Hill inspired music because when I first started, that was what I was originally. Well, ever since I was 12, the music that I've written has been inspired by the Silent Hill games. So I wanted to kind of get back to that a little more. The song I'm working on here, it's not. I mean, the melody is more or less done, but there's some rough stuff I'm still working out. There's a transition halfway through that I need to fix. Okay. Not really fixed. I just need to blend a bit better. So I'd say in total this song's like 70% done.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, here I'll.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my. I'm gonna turn off my back music there, so yeah, that way we can get the full effect.
All right, cool. I'll play it real quick. While it's playing, you won't be able to hear me, but if it's too loud, just let me know. I'll turn it down.
Okay.
That's pretty much it. Then it kind of just fades out.
That is amazing.
Oh, thank you.
That was
I
so good.
Oh, thank you very much. I really like doing kind of like this like somber music. Um, yeah, gonna be putting together like an album of music that's kind of like this. But yeah, yeah,
That's awesome.
I'm
No,
gonna try to
that's
finish up this one and then release it soon.
that was like that's like right up my alley. Like I felt so much. I think a lot of people agree with me on this. I felt so many different emotions. Like I even pictured like a story in my mind. Like I felt I was I don't know, like that like took me somewhere. That was so good.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really glad you liked it. I'm
You,
glad that people. It seems like people in chat liked it too.
oh yeah, no,
I will.
you
I'll try to get this mixed and finished up like in the next day or so.
yeah, no, that was really good. That kind of reminds me, like, yeah, you talked about like a lo-fi vibe, like for sure. Like I think about like the lo-fi, like channels that are like constantly streaming like music and things like that. You should do something like that where like you can like play like your music nonstop. Like that's something I would listen to like while I'm like writing or something.
Yeah, I was actually planning on when I get a new computer for to host the radio stream. I'm gonna take the current computer that's hosting the radio stream and I'm gonna turn that into a radio stream channel, and I'm gonna start up another 24-hour live stream on the Somnium music channel that'll just play all of my songs on shuffle like 24/7.
Wow. So, well, now, like, now you just opened up a bunch of different questions for me. How, like, how, how did you, like, I felt like you were able to, like, send, like, a very personalized message through, like, that music. Like, how did you get to that?
Well, so when I was a kid, the reason I started writing music was because my grandma, so like out on the the reservation where my grandma lived,
Mm-hmm.
I would go out there when I was a kid and every summer. And when I was like 7 or 8, I started dealing with a lot of kind of like just like mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my grandma telling me that I should try to take what I'm feeling and turn it into something creative. Because like some too many people will take what they're feeling and just hold it inside, and then
Mm-hmm.
it'll eventually turn into something. It'll either be like destructive, or you can take it and make it creative. So I took what I was feeling, and she had this keyboard
Mm-hmm.
at her house, and she would let me kind of like play around with it. And I noticed that when I was playing little melodies, when I was making sounds and stuff, what I was feeling could kind of like come out through that. So I started writing music as a way to express, just like certain feelings that I had. And just over time, the music that I would make was always very expressive of certain feel like what I was feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever I write music for stories,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm a very empathetic person. I feel like whenever I read a story, I can kind of like imagine these fictional people who don't exist, and I can imagine what they must be feeling, and then it's very easy for me to just feel those like fake feelings that don't exist. And
Mm-hmm.
so whenever I write a story for a song, I'll take those kind of like imaginary feelings that I imagine that the characters must
Mm-hmm.
have, and I'll put them into the music the same way I did with my own emotions when I was younger.
Wow. That's crazy. I was about to say, I'm like, that music, like, I could feel, like, it was almost as if, like, you telepathically, like, implanted some of those feelings. Like, I felt something with that, and that's really interesting. Um, that's, I felt like I was looking in on a, like, some type of exhibit, and where it's like, I wasn't there, but, like, I could still feel it. So that was very interesting.
Oh, thank you. I'm very honored, to hear such high praise for my music. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that kind of blows my mind that that it's interesting. You see people so talented where they're known for one type of talent, and then on the back end they have additional talents. That's incredible. Do you have any other music or any like other songs that you have that you're like, oh, this is a good one?
Um, I guess my favorite song that I ever made would probably be the like not to get sad again, but my favorite song that I ever made would probably be the one that I made for my mom when she passed away.
Oh wow.
That's probably like just the one that's most like most emotional to me. It's the one that's closest to me.
Wow. Do you have that one? Could we hear that one? Do you have that one ready?
Sure, that one's a little bit longer. It's so I'm down to show you, but it is about like I think it's like 5 minutes.
Okay. I don't think anyone would mind. I definitely don't. If that's cool with you.
Okay. Yeah, sure, that's totally fine. Let me grab it. It's called Mourning, like mourning a loss.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. So 1 second, let me find it here. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So I'll mute myself again and I'll play it.
All right.
Were you able to hear anything?
I wasn't.
That's weird. Me neither. Okay, 1 second. Okay. Uh, can you hear me?
Yep, that was incredible.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You're making my mods cry.
Thank you. When I made it, the song's kind of like it has a like a core melody that repeats throughout it, and I made it like that for a reason because the song to me is a lot like mourning somebody. It's kind of like just the same realization over and over again for like months or even years. And that's what that melody represents to me.
Wow, that's incredible. Is most of your music like is this like I feel like every time I've heard the music you played, it takes me visually somewhere. Like in my mind, I can see a place and I can feel a feeling. Does all of your music have this effect?
Oh well, thank you. I with a lot of my music, I do try to do settings and scenes. Um, I don't want it to sound like morbid or anything, and it's not really like I'm taking like my mom's passing and like like using it to I don't know, build up the drama in the song or anything. But when I made this song, I made it literally the day that she passed away, so it was very kind of like therapeutic for me. And I don't know. Oops, sorry, I actually slapped the microphone. In the end, I don't know if you noticed, there's like a bunch of wind and stuff, like like leaves blowing and stuff like that. And that represents this just this how it sounded the day that I was, or like that day when I was out there when I found her. And so like that's when in a lot of my songs, because a lot of my songs represent ways that I'm feeling, and so a lot of my songs will represent certain moments either in my life or in the stories that I'm narrating, and both of those things can have like real life sound effect elements. So a lot of my songs do have sound effects in them to kind of like help set a specific scene in like a location or like environment that the song is taking place in.
Wow, that's incredible. Well, I have to go. I gotta go binge watch all of your stuff. That's yeah. I'm one of those people that like I'll just kind of get in these grooves, and I not to compare or anything like that, but I definitely have had just different issues. Like all of us have different issues and everything like that. So, and there's different ways that people handle things like that. And for me, it's music and to listen to music. I'm very musically declined. Like I'm terrible at music, but I love listening to it, and I love the way it makes me feel. And that's something that I feel like there's for some reason there's like a constant pain or something, but like when I was listening to your two songs, like that pain went away. So that was really interesting that it had that effect on me.
Yeah, I'm really glad that you liked it, and I'm glad that it could connect with you. And like any experience that I've had in life, I'm sure hundreds of thousands or millions of other people have too. And like creative expression is definitely a way that people who have been through like similar experiences can kind of connect to each other, maybe without even realizing it.
Yeah, that's interesting. No, yeah, I not that I was surprised, but I'm very it's very interesting to see how you're a very deep person, very complex, and that's just in terms of the range of the emotions that we were able to feel through that music. And I feel like that's not even like with your channel, like you have so many awesome talents, and then we don't I feel like we don't get to realize the half of them with just the music and things like that. So that's I'm really glad that I was able to have you on here, and that we could look at that and kind of dive deeper into a channel, but also who you are and things like that.
Well, yeah, it was really awesome to do this and talk to you all, and yeah, it was it's always nice to connect with other people, and yeah, I'm just repeat the same thing over.
No, you're good.
A lot, sorry.
No, you're good. No, yeah. Well, hey, I appreciate you helping me out on this. This means a lot to me. I'm sure you're quite busy. You got a lot of things going on. You have a lot of projects. But I appreciate you giving me the time of day just to talk with me and have you on here. As a fan standpoint, I am looking forward to your Halloween specials that you have coming out. I'm looking forward to your live stream. I will definitely be in the chat for that. So I just want to thank you for all the awesome work that you put out, as well as being an awesome person as well.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
Of course.
It'd definitely be awesome to do it again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll hit you up probably in the future and maybe look at maybe doing a collab or something, and I can send you a bunch of the stories I've written if you wanted to do one of those. I'd love to have you read some of my stuff as well.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah, I would love to. If you want to send them over, I'd be happy to check them out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm more of the cryptid genre, but I'll write us some fun things every now and then. But yeah, just let me know. Well, hey, I appreciate your time. I could probably talk to you all night, but I mean, I'm sure you're quite busy, and I don't want to be taking all your time. But thank you so much for coming on. I know my fans greatly enjoyed it. I feel like we got to see a different side of you, which I think we can all equally say that I think all different sides of you, I think we all love to, as a fan standpoint, to see you as a very multifaceted, multi-skilled person.
Well, thank you. I'm always happy to. It's always awesome to kind of like be able to connect more with the community and with just really anybody who wants to, because we're all. I assume we're all here for the same thing. We all like. To create and share and to express ourselves through the scary stories we write and tell and stuff. And it's always awesome to, engage with other people who have those similar interests.
Yeah, for sure. Well, awesome, man. Hey, well, I'm going to let you go. We'll wind the stream down, but hey, thank you so much. And let's make sure to check out Dark Somnium and his awesome works and his different channels, as well as his upcoming works as well. So thank you so much, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Yeah, goodbye, everybody.
All right, have a good one. All right, so we just had Dark Somnium on. He is an incredibly talented person. I'm really glad that we had him on. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. Make sure to go give Ronnie all the love and support that he deserves. Check out his channels. He's got multiple channels as well as his music. I for sure am gonna go binge all of his music right now, actually. So you guys are amazing. Have a great evening, guys. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for being so supportive of me and Dark Somnium. I really had a great time. So have a great evening, everyone, and I will see you guys in the next one.